Hello friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joycey Joy and today in this lecture we will be discussing about eliminating the single-use plastics in India. So we will be discussing why we need to eliminate single-use plastics in India. Also we will see what are the alternatives available, and we will also discuss about the present utilities or how single-use plastics are widely used in India now. So all this we will discuss in detail in this lecture. A very important topic. So let us start with the current affair. Let us see what is the current affair. The current affair is that the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, PM Modi, has made announcements on various occasions, especially on the August 15th, that is the Independence Day, and also on October 2nd, that is the Gandhi Jayanti. So on these special occasions, Prime Minister Modi has made announcements that India will eliminate single-use plastics by 2022. This is very important. Now, in various competitive examinations, questions can be asked like what is the deadline or what is the target date by which India aims to eliminate single-use plastics. So, it is by the end of 2022, we have set an ambitious target of eliminating single-use plastics in India. So on this various occasions, Prime Minister Modi has made announcements that we are going to eliminate the use of single-use plastics or ban single-use plastics in the country. Now, in this context, PM Modi has made this announcement and it is expected that there will be various policy initiatives in this regard. So in this context, it is important to understand the usage of single-use plastics and also what are the alternatives for single-use plastics in India. So, we will be discussing this in detail in this lecture. Let us begin. Let us see what are single-use plastics. Now, what is a single-use plastic? From the name itself, it is very clear. Plastics that are used only for a single time. That is just once. So, single-use plastics refers to plastics that are just used once. For example, disposable packaging, plates, cutlery, straw, all these are used just once. That is use and throw. You will use it for one time and then you will dispose it or you will throw it away. So this type of plastics are called single-use plastics. It can be widely found everywhere. If you look at yourself, at your home, your premises, your work premises, you will see that there are many incidents where you itself have used single-use plastics many times. So, they are plastics that are used just once. Now, nearly 43% of India's plastics are used in packaging and much of it is single-use plastics. So, out of the 100%, that is the total plastics used in the country, about half, that is 43% of the plastic is used in packaging. Now, within packaging, a majority is single-use plastic. Now, if you see those food items, for example, the chips that you buy from the market or any food item or anything, especially in an e-commerce era, you use e-commerce platforms like Flipkart, Amazon, etc. So most of the goods you receive, they are packed using plastic. Most of them are single-use plastic. So a majority of the packaging material, it is single-use plastics. Now apart from packaging, there are also many other ways through which single-use plastics enter your home or your workplace. For example, covers of invitation cards, also various magazine covers, wrappers of chocolates or anything, wrappers, again advertisements. All these are some other forms through which single-use plastic enters your home or your workplace. Now, why we are focusing on single-use plastic? Now, the first step towards minimizing the use of plastic is giving a focus on single-use plastic. So why single-use plastic needs such a huge focus? The reason is that the single-use plastics, when we compare the volume of single-use plastics, the volume is very large and also the volume is growing. So there is large and growing volume of single-use plastics that adds on to the total plastic waste in the country. So As the usage of single-use plastic increases, the total plastic waste generated in the country is also getting increased. So that is the reason. Now let us see how have single-use plastics been used and also about the ban of the single-use plastics. So the utility as well as what is the status of ban of the single-use plastic. Now plastic was introduced in the year 1869 and plastic was introduced by John W. Hath. So John W. Hath introduced plastic in the year 1869, and since the introduction of plastic, it has become an integral part of the life of many people, almost everyone. You cannot imagine one single day that you will come across without the use of plastic commodities. So it has become an integral part of everyone's life, and the usage or the utility of single-use plastic or plastic in general is that it adds to the convenience of modern living. This is because of the flexibility of the plastic commodities, the durability of the plastic commodities, and also the lightness, the ease at which you can carry plastic commodities. So all this have added to the convenience of modern living. Now, secondly, when we talk about the recycling is very important. Otherwise, the plastic waste generation will increase numerously. So, recycling is important, and India recycles plastic waste much more than what the industrialized countries do. India have an informal network of waste collectors, segregators. So through this informal network, India collects the plastic waste and we are engaged in the recycling process. And when we compare the recycling of plastic waste in India to that of industrialized countries, we will see that India is much better than many of the industrialized countries. But what is the problem here? The problem here is that there is a fast growing consumption. So consumption of plastic material or plastic commodities are on rise. So there is a fast growing consumption. So fast growing consumption means that the demand for plastic commodities are increasing, and this demand has outstripped India's current capacity to recycle the plastic. So we have a capacity in order to recycle the plastic waste, but the demand for plastic commodities is much more than the recycling capacity of the country. Now, second thing is that the plastic commodities are available at cheaper price. So, the recycling cost, it is higher than the cost of purchasing new commodities. So, the plastic is very cheap and it is available in the market at cheaper prices. So, the reuse potential of the plastic waste is not valued many times because of its cheaper prices. Now, a third reason for increasing plastic waste in the country is because of the rising e-commerce business in the country. So, there is a growing volume of e-commerce business in the country, and e-commerce entities use single-use plastics for packaging. So, they use disposable packaging and they use single-use plastics for packaging. So, with an increasing volume of e-commerce business and also considering the large population of the country, the e-commerce business in the country is increasing. So considering that, the single-use plastics use is increasing in the country. Now talking about the states and the union territories that have banned plastic, almost close to 20 states in India has imposed either a partial ban or a total ban on the SUPs or single-use plastics. And certain states that have introduced a total ban on single-use plastics include Maharashtra, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh, etc. These states have adopted a total ban or a complete ban on the single-use plastics. Now, these are very important. This can be asked in various examination as an objective type question on which are the states that have adopted a complete ban on single-use plastic. So these are the states. Now certain other states like Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, etc. have imposed a partial ban. So this is the status. Now when we look at the enforcement of the ban, we have seen certain states like Maharashtra, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh, they have adopted a complete ban. But the problem is that even though they have adopted a complete ban on the single-use plastics, these are not largely successful. This is because of the poor state capacity to enforce this ban. So the capacity of the state to enforce this ban is very poor. That is why it is not highly successful. Now, when we talk about the ban on plastic bags, that is the plastic carry bags. So when we talk particularly about the ban on plastic carry bags, the ban on plastic carry bags leads to the use of non-woven polypropylene bags, that is the PP bags, that is polypropylene bags. So these bags, the PP bags, they feel like the cloth bags, and these bags are even available in various designs with certain printing and all like a cloth. But these PP bags, they are even more harmful or dangerous than the normal plastic bags. So these are dangerous, more dangerous for the environment. This is because the fine fibers of this PP bags, they rub off and enter the global waters as microplastics. We know that microplastics is a huge threat for the ocean ecosystem, also the water resources across the world. So these PP bags are even more harmful. Now let us see what are the threats of higher consumption of plastic or higher usage of plastic. First thing, the plastic does not decompose and they naturally and sticks around in the environment for thousands of years. So it will not decompose. And for this reason, the discarded plastic waste, the plastic bags, they create greatest problems for waste management. So they become a problem for the waste management. Thirdly, due to various factors like the wind, the waters, etc., they cause flooding in the urban areas. And also discarded plastic waste, sometimes it is consumed by the livestock like the cattle, etc. And if those cattle, the roaming livestock, if they consume this plastic waste, then this will eventually cause to the death of these livestock. And fourth one, the plastic waste, they get carried by the rain, the streams, etc. And the rivers will carry this plastic waste to the oceans. So this will lead to pollution, water pollution or pollution in marine resources. Now let us see what are the possible measures. Now a possible measure in order to reduce the use of plastic carry bags would be to adopt a compulsory charge by the retail stores on carry bags. Now this has proven to be very effective in reducing the usage of plastic bags. For example, let us take a case study in Ireland. So in Ireland, a minor charge was added to every bill for the purchase of plastic carry bags, and eventually this has shown a 95% reduction in the demand for such carry bags. So compulsory charge for the plastic carry bags, it has proven that this will reduce the consumption or the usage of plastic carry bags. And in India, the plastic waste management rules of 2016 included a clause, that is rule number 15. So rule number 15 of the plastic waste management rules of 2016, it had called for an explicit pricing of the carry bags. So this required the retail vendors to register and pay an annual fee to the urban local bodies. But the lobbying by the producers of the plastic ensured that this clause, that is the rule 15, is removed by an amendment in 2018. So this is what happened in India. Now coming to alternatives, for plastic materials, environmentally harmless materials or alternatives should be promoted. For example, cloth bag can be used to wrap luggage at the airports. Paper plates can be used. Bamboo straws can be used. Butter paper can be used as bread wrappers. Tear-proof paper can be used as cover for magazines, invitations, advertisements, etc. So environmentally harmless materials or alternatives should be promoted instead of plastic. Now coming to plastic granules, SUPs or single-use plastics can be potentially converted by thermomechanical recycling. So through this thermomechanical recycling, the SUPs or the single-use plastics can be converted into plastic granules. And this plastic granules can be blended into other plastic products. For example, irrigation piping for agriculture. So this granules can be used for making other plastic products. Now coming to the challenges, the collection of post-consumer waste and recycling poses a very important challenge. And this challenge is very high, especially when packaging comprises of different layers of polymer. And the multi-layer flexible packaging, which is used for chips. If you have purchased packaged chips like Lay's, Kurkure, etc., you would have seen that there is a multi-layer flexible packaging. So this type of multi-layer flexible packaging, this cannot be converted into granules as we have discussed earlier. This is because this packaging contains different layers. So they cannot be converted into granules because different layers of plastic will have different melting points. So because of this, they cannot be converted into granules. And also the plastic waste management rules 2016 requires the creator of such plastic waste or packaging waste to take it back, and this is called extended manufacturer responsibility. So it is called EMR or extended manufacturer responsibility. So either the producer of such waste or plastic packaging should collect it back, or they should pay for the management of such waste to the urban bodies or the local bodies. But the problem is that there is little or very less compliance to this rule. That is the extended manufacturer responsibility. And what is required is to create an awareness of the damage caused by the single-use plastics and develop consumer consciousness in order to minimize the use of single-use plastics. Now, coming to a very important alternative for the use of waste plastic or plastic waste, that is roads. So in the construction of roads, how can we use the plastic waste? So the recycled plastic can be used in order to strengthen the roads. So how it will strengthen the roads? So the plastic waste, the recycled plastic, if it is used for the construction of roads, this will double or triple the life of the road. That means the quality of the roads will improve. And this fact has been accepted and approved by the Indian Road Congress, and this has also been mandated by the NHAI, National Highways Authority, in the year 2015. And the use of such plastic waste for the construction of road, this is allowed up to 50 km around every city with a population cover of more than 5 lakh. So this is the permit allowed by the National Highways Authority of India. And if we look at the status of such roads, plastic roads or roads created out of plastic waste, as of now 14,000 kilometers of the so-called plastic roads have been built, and the finding is that such type of plastic roads, they are of higher quality and they last long, and also they are free of potholes. So this is how we can use, and this is an alternative where you can effectively utilize the plastic waste in India. Now what is the way ahead? So such type of innovative ideas should be introduced and should be implemented. For example, the use of plastic for the construction of roads, that is plastic roads, and also creating awareness in order to change the fundamental mindset of the people is also very, very important. You can find the PDF of this lecture on our website www.studyiq.com. You can also follow my Facebook page for more video updates. You can write to me at joycey.studyiq@gmail.com for any of your queries and clarification. Thank you.